It's been, and I don't say this lightly, it has been a bit life-changing, but you don't expect it to be. I kind of underestimated how much of an impact it would have on me. I think I came into it wanting a physical challenge. I wanted to really push myself, get deeper into my personal practice and see where I could go. And I wanted a bit of a mental challenge and to learn new things. And I thought, yeah, this will really push me. I'd really underestimated the emotional challenge and the stretch that it would present me. It just made me realise yoga is much more than just bending and stretching. It's much more than just the spiritual side of it. It really can impact every part of your life. It's made me feel a lot more balanced. I've definitely felt myself go through a bit of a journey, a bit of a roller coaster in the last 4 weeks, which feels crazy because it's such a short space of time. And then I surprised myself by being able to actually teach yoga, which was the icing on the cake. The anatomy classes, probably one of my favourite bits, and I didn't expect it to be at all. Thought I'd be going back to science classes at school, which was quite a long time ago. But for me, it really connected with how my body works, what's happening when I'm doing yoga poses, but in particular things that don't get explained to you properly in a lot of classes. So really appreciating the shape of my body and the fact that we all have the same things. We're all born with the same structure, but it is so different and unique to everybody. And that's why certain people can do certain things very easily and others can't. And there's so much pressure sometimes in a generic yoga class to look across and be like, oh, how are they doing that? And I can't do it. And actually I can't, and that's okay. And there's different ways. And I think it just, really, I found it quite inspirational and really made me think about, in terms of whatever I'm going to do with this qualification and whatever I want to do with yoga in the future, there's definitely something more there that I've been inspired to go and explore, to understand more, and to look into that as potential opportunities. Even if nothing else, it improves my practice because I better understand my hips, my spine, how everything is working inside of me. So really enjoyed that. The asana workshops and the labs, they were amazing. Again, if you take a generic yoga class, and often teachers make assumptions that you know what to do, or they've done this 5 times already today, and so they just cue you into it without really explaining how to improve that, how to really make some small tweaks that open that posture up, and suddenly you're feeling benefits that you've never felt before. I think being able to work through that in some of our labs and workshops, really getting into the detail of a pose, why you do it, how to do it properly so you're not hurting yourself, but equally to get the maximum benefit out of it, and how to work with your body, how to work with other people's bodies, as we took that into the teacher training side of it and have to do adjustments. I think it's changed my practice, and I think if for no other reason, that's why people should do this course, to deepen their personal practice, to get so much more out of it. We're in Bali, you can't move without tripping over a yoga studio. You could go to classes all day, but I don't think you would get the experience you get from those kind of workshops to really understand postures and break them down, get the benefits, and know that moving forward, I'm doing yoga better than I had previously. So the yoga philosophy was probably the section I was most nervous going into. Wasn't really sure what to expect. I've definitely seen myself more on the scientific side than the spiritual, and just the way I've kind of been raised and my background. Sharada was such a good teacher in that there was nothing being forced on us. It was very open. It was very much about, I'm going to present this to you and I'm going to share my knowledge and share my learnings, and you take from that what you want, you do with it what you choose. So we weren't being asked to sign up to anything or really kind of get into it, and it allowed everyone the space. Some people were really curious and wanting to ask lots of questions, others like myself wanting to just sit back and just take it all on board, sometimes feeling a little bit like mind blown, what does that actually mean? But just being able to then go back every evening and just digest it. It was intelligent, the way she was able to articulate what she meant. And sometimes, you get a little bit lost in the meaning because it was quite deep and you're coming around, but isn't that the same as that thing over? But she was able to bring it back round and actually say, no, it's this. And it sounds a lot like this, but actually it's a different thing. And it was just a really interesting experience. And I think it balances out well between the scientific, the physical, everything, having that philosophical side of it. which without that, you're not learning about yoga. So if you don't have that balance, I think it would have just been, oh, I've got a bit stretchier in the last few weeks, but not really understood the merits of it and the real reasoning behind what yoga is. So coming to this training, I was a little bit nervous, not knowing what to expect, and in my head thinking, what if I'm the worst in the room? What if I'm the one that can't do anything? What if the class is like some of those yoga classes you go to where it does feel a little bit intimidating, you don't feel that comfortable? And my experience has been the absolute opposite. It's been so safe, so welcoming, so compassionate. Every single person in the room has become a friend. That's the teachers through to the students. Nobody has judged at any time. Nobody's made you feel uncomfortable. You've been given space when you've needed it. There's always been a friend to make you laugh or to pick you up, or even just to kind of share in any frustrations that you've had over yet another thing that you need to remember or think about or do. But just that environment, and particularly the environment that Tara and Jan kind of worked together so hard to create, just made all the difference.